welcome to the podcast.
It's Emily
and Abigail.
And on today's episode, we have two very special guests. If you guys want to introduce yourself.
My name is Kenny Rivers. Hi.
Caleb Gordon, guys.
You already know what time it is. Your boy Caleb Gordon. We out here. We living. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
We are so excited. Thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. We've been goofing off this whole time before, but it's absolutely a blast talking. We're going to get to know them a little bit more, get to hear about their careers, their stories. It's going to be awesome. You want to kick us off?
All right, yeah. Okay, so first off, where are you guys from and why did you start rapping?
I started rapping because there was a need. So, like, I used to rap, like, other rap, I used to rap like Lil Uzi in 2016 because I was, like, rapping about girls and all that stuff. But then, the music wasn't filling me. So 2018, I stopped making music. I decided to take God seriously. And then that's when everything changed because I was like, yo, if I can't do it the right way, I'm not going to do it at all. And God, like, called me back to it because there was a need. Like, I had a friend at the gym who was like, yo, I listen to this worship music. This worship music is cool, but, like, I need something that's going to get me lit while I'm working out, things like that. So I'm like, yo.
Stuff when I work out.
Right. That's the whole purpose. That's where it started in the gym. Yeah. So I was like, yo, let me be the answer, let me be the call. The answer to the call, and that's when I started making music for God.
All right. Yeah. First of all, I got to correct myself for my people. I'm from Calle, Puerto Rico. I got to say that before my people cancel me. They're like, what you mean you from a we know where you're actually from. Nah, I'm from Calle, Puerto Rico. I started rapping, honestly, just because I loved music at first. I just had a lot of stories. I went through a lot of things growing up, so I just wanted to put them in a song, and that's why I started rapping. And eventually, just like Caleb was saying, in a similar way, I saw that there was a necessity for a different set of music. I saw that even not being a Christian, like the Lord was already working in my heart in the sense of I saw that the music that was present was promoting death and violence, and I was tired of consuming that. I was like, I don't want to be thinking about death on a beautiful sunny Florida day. Like, I'm trying to think about life and how to elevate. So my music, like, that desire started from there. So that's one of the things the Lord was using to guide me. But yeah, I started making music since I was like 14. So I've been in the game for a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm 22 now. It's funny because I started making music with I don't know if y'all know gaming headsets.
Yeah.
I would plug that into my computer with like a DJ software, and I would record it. It was crazy. I would download the beat from YouTube. It was ghetto, and I had to. It was ghetto.
You made it work, though.
Right. I made it work. And the funny thing is, I would record my voice separate from the beat, and then I had to cue them together. And if I would do it off beat, I would have to start all over again. It was crazy. It was a process. But yeah, like that grind made me be consistent of learning how much I actually love music because I had to go through so much trouble just to make one song that I was like, I actually love doing this. And that's like how I found that I actually love music.
The passion behind it and everything.
the passion, right? But like the struggle made me realize how much I loved it because it was like there was a struggle, but although there was a struggle, I was like, I realized I love the process. So that's how I found my love for music. Like, and I always played drums growing up too, so that was something. Yeah, bro.
He was in the jazz band too.
Oh yeah, I was in the jazz band. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, jazz band in high school.
Okay, did you play anything or did you sing?
No, I actually played the drums. That's how I started.
My mom was in a traveling jazz band and played the sax.
Oh.
I kid you not.
Wow.
That's
That
nuts.
is crazy. Like traveling. That's crazy.
She was
out of the city. I love that. Yeah, I started in the jazz. Well, actually, I started in the church playing like percussion in Puerto Rico. Like I started playing the congas and like during worship. Like I just saw some.
So cool.
Right, I saw some congas. I started playing them. This dude from church was like, "You know how to play that?" I said, "No." He's like, "I just heard you." I just heard you play them. So he took the congas and put him at the altar, and I was just like, I looked at the guy that was actually playing the congas. We looked at each other. He kept playing. I started playing what he was playing. Then he gave me that nod, like you valid. You valid. And from there, I just went on. And then I grew up, played percussion, drums, and then ended up rapping. So that's like how everything started.
That's insane.
Yeah, so.
That's so awesome. So I guess like our second question is both individually and together. What are both of you trying to promote with your music? Now, I know you kind of went into that a little bit, but like feel free to like elaborate like even more so.
You go first.
Both went. How do we promote? Say that one more time.
like, what are you trying to promote? Like, the message behind your music and, like, your lyrics
Yeah.
and, like, all of that.
Yeah, just like Eden, and you see Eden is all over everything I do. It's just like God's presence, promise, provision, you know, protection is there for everybody. You don't have to be in the church to get that. And it's just like spreading that towards, you know, people who don't believe and people who do believe. So the mindset is just Eden is everywhere. You know,
I love
I love that. I love that.
Eden is just the presence of God. Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
I love that. That's why I always tell him, you're a genius, and I envy Eden, and I wish I would have thought about it first. I always tell him that.
Like, dang it, I wish I had that first. Copyright, dang it.
No, because me and Caleb, we go way back. We met in high school at like around 2017, 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we go way back. And I remember him like coming over to my house, record a song. He's like, bro, I got it, bro. I got it. He's like, bro, Eden Records, bro. And then he like stepped back like and in that moment I was in a whole different mindset. Like I was with the Lord, but I was like so many other things in my mind, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Where's it come from?
You like whisper it to make it sound cool.
So
ASMR.
Right, just let it go.
but I love that you stuck to it though, bro. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that's actually how goes into how we met y'all. Y'all were
Yeah,
advertising
literally.
for the Eden experience.
Yeah.
Y'all-
Yeah.
So Emily and I were on campus. We just decided to randomly start walking around.
Nice.
Went to the library, and then I had seen one of Caleb's TikToks like 2 days prior.
That's
Before
crazy.
that, I had no idea what he looked like. I just watched. I just listened to the.
We knew your
That's
voice.
it.
We didn't know
We knew
your
voice,
face.
not your face,
Yeah.
right? Because my little brother was like
Obsessed.
spazzing. So then I started listening to stuff, and then you walked past. I was like, "Wait, Emily, hold up! I think that's Caleb." And she's like, "Wait, huh?" I was like Caleb Gordon, like West Orlando Flow, like him." And she goes, "Huh? What?" I was like, "Yeah." We walk up. Y'all are advertising for the Eden Experience.
Yeah.
Then we meet Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny's like, "I got a niece named Abigail too." I'm like, "No way."
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to
And-
Abigail.
Right. So then we all become friends. Caleb starts freestyling. Kenny just starts chatting up the
We
store
were
with us.
vibing.
We were vibing.
Yeah,
He
big
starts freestyling.
I was so
about
late
shoes
going
and
home.
Trumpets.
I was so late going home. It was so
good.
great though.
But
it was so much
that
fun.
goes into like what encourages y'all to get on college campuses to advertise, because I know a lot of people kind of stay to themselves, like they're working their studio and that's pretty much what they do. But y'all being able to promote on a campus and like reaching people, that's different. You know what encourages
drawing everybody
Right.
in. Like
Yeah,
y'all's
yeah.
atmosphere while y'all were on campus,
Yeah.
it was so incredible.
It's funny because we were just having a conversation about this last night on FaceTime with our friend Bryce. Bryce G, shout out to you, bro. DJ Bryce,
I met
he's
him
like,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
DJ,
I
but
met
he's
him.
a big part of what happens, but that's beside the point. We're gonna talk about Bryce in a second. So
Alright.
we were talking on FaceTime, and we were talking about is not only reaching the Christian and the kingdom community, although that's the main people we feed that consume us by default. We also want to reach as many, because
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bible says be a light in the world and be a salt. So we want to
Absolutely.
reach as many people as possible, and because it was a neutral venue, it's like, it's a big opportunity to have non-believers pull up and just hear our message. And I feel like that was the best event because Goose, like, I don't know if y'all remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you remember?
Goose, yeah.
Goose made me cry. Goose made me cry, bro. This man was like,
I was crying too. What's her name? Is it
Key Alexis?
She-
Lexi?
Oh,
Yeah, she's awesome.
powerhouse.
Alexis.
Yeah,
Shout
shout out.
Alexis.
She's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, man, the whole squad, man. So everybody did so amazing. Like the spirit was moved with everybody. It's like that's exactly what we wanted to do. Like bring God to the people and not wait for them to come to church. It's like, no,
Exactly.
we bringing God to you.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
it's like it
That's
doesn't.
amazing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like why we do what we do.
Oh, I don't want to miss the question about why do you do like your brand and things about that.
Oh, they didn't speak about it? Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
like,
about
well,
that. So the guy just kept talking. So I have two things I promote a lot, which is revival and third heaven. So I promote revival a lot because I come from dead religion. Like I grew up in dead religion, And when I say dead religion, I mean like Sunday Christian. We don't really we go to the Bible studies and the services, but we don't really live it out. We live in like this weird life, and everybody just kind of works in routine. Like Sunday church. Eat after every Sunday. It's like this routine. It's almost like
it's tradition. It becomes tradition.
It becomes tradition. Yeah, the food will be hidden every time, but but the church food wasn't hitting. So then that was something else. So but that's the main food we need. So I came from that. So I was like, man, we need to. I remember like once I truly gave my life to Christ at 19 and being in a church where everybody was just in their tradition. I remember being like, I want to shake this up, man. I'm
so
tired of
good.
y'all. Like I wanted to like
Yeah,
flip
come
tables
on.
like Jesus, man. I wanted to just
That's
like go
amazing.
stupid.
No, seriously,
Yeah,
though.
so
Yeah.
so that's why when y'all see me in shows, I say crazy stuff. Like I pull up to the show and be like, I want to say something. I don't care if it's controversial. Buddha dead, Muhammad dead, the Hindu gospel, and people look at me like, yo, you crazy, and I'm like, I want to shake you up. Like I want.
It's the truth, though.
It's the truth.
It's the unfiltered truth.
Unfiltered and unapologetic truth, because Paul says that if Christ didn't rise from the dead, like our faith is in vain. Like if Christ wasn't actually alive, like everything we're doing is pointless. So that's why, and that's 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians 15 for y'all that like your Bible quotes. So so when I read that scripture, like it changed, like that was my mission statement. Like I'm like, I gotta make sure people understand that this is not just some mythology or some crazy book that was written 2,000 years ago we still follow. It's like, no, Christ is alive and he about to come back soon, and we need to like stay focused, bro. We got a mission, bro. We got a mission. So that's why y'all hear me talk about revival, and I also like to promote unity in the kingdom. That's why in my songs, even whether it's English or Spanish, I say sonido worldwide or like international flow and stuff like that, because I'm pretty much, and I say this other thing in Spanish, uniendo la racha, which means uniting the race, which just means uniting the human race. Like we're coming together.
I love that.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
amazing.
So it's bringing everybody together as a kingdom. Like I don't care if you're Chinese, Colombian, I don't care where you from. You my brother in Christ. You feel me? And we about to just come together to do the work of the Lord. So I have like those are the things, because revival is not a singular thing. Revival is a collective, is a corporate thing, and we need everybody.
Everyone.
We don't need just Caleb Gordon or me or or just y'all. We need everybody. Like that's why I love this, and I love that when everybody comes together, the world can see it and be like, that's what I've been looking for the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the light, because it's like, you know how when Jesus was born there was a star in the sky?
Yeah.
Theologians estimate that was the darkest night of the whole year. So in the darkest night, there's always a star to point to, and that's what the church should be. It should be the light, the brightest star. Like, yo, bro, that's where we need to go. We need to walk that way. So that's why I promote that revival, that third, and that my brand is called Third Heaven, because you know Paul, that's the spiritual heaven. That's where God resides, and where God resides, there's full peace, full sovereignty. So that's why I promote Third Heaven. You feel me?
That's
so
amazing.
yeah.
So
So.
good.
Yeah, walking to the star, bro.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, man. It's that, bro. That story changed my life, bro. Like,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
That's
wow.
right? It's like, it's
Like,
you
wow.
gotta process it,
Yeah,
right?
it's just
What made us go on to the college campus?
yeah, like what made you?
So at the top of the year, that's when I felt like God was telling me to stay in Florida, because I was going to these other places, and like California, New York, New Jersey, and going all these places, and I was just like, yeah, but like Florida still has no idea what's going on. So I decided to come back here, and I was like, I'm finna just hit every school in the whole area, because it's like we can go everywhere, but if we're not building a foundation here, we're not making people want to come here because of how big God is in Florida, then we're doing something wrong. Because this is where we live.
good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and I know on college
That's
campuses,
right.
that's where a lot of people make their life change decision to
Yep.
follow Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So we go on these campuses and we preach, and it's not about the money, because we go to these campuses and we're spending money to go there.
Yeah.
God showed me like I would hit the SGA people in the schools, and they they would say, yeah, we're gonna do this, and this, and it would never happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, like what's going on? Like it's like a roadblock. And I thought this is what you wanted me to do. So then at the end of the day, I called up the boys and I was like, bro, let's just go. Everybody was down. So we're sliding to these campuses. We just went to Bethune-Cookman the other day.
Yeah.
We went there, nobody was there. But we saw a couple people there and we got to tap in. So they're going to give us like the schedule on how to get there.
That's awesome.
But I feel like the most important thing is just to reach the people. Like the
Yeah.
most important thing isn't like, oh, we want to go where people are paying us. Nah, we want to go where God needs us. It's on these campuses of people that's our age, people that know us and they've never heard God before. So we just want to spread that.
It's not about y'all. It's about glorifying the kingdom.
It's about glorifying the kingdom.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
good.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's
That's it.
amazing.
That's it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow. That's just I'm in awe
it
right
makes
now.
it gets me like on fire.
I'm like,
alright,
this
let's
is
go,
amazing.
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I mean, it's a great way to just like reach people and connect. I mean, that's how we connected with y'all.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know, it was
it's-
by you being on the college campus.
Ooh, that's powerful.
How did you both decide to collaborate on your album, Rebirth, Rethink, Rejoice, like in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020.
Well, those songs basically, most of the music got made. I can't remember. Was it 2020, 2019? 2019. A lot of that music got made in 2019 because I was very like meticulous in my album, so I like to take my time with it. It wasn't a
As you
question. I wasn't a question. I gave my life to Christ, started making music for Christ, and the only friend I had making music for Christ was Caleb. So it was not even a question.
Hold on, I gotta hit up my homeboy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Plus, we've already made so much music before that. Like,
yeah,
like
it just was like a no-brainer.
right. We had this song called "Go Be Alright." That song was actually made in 2018. So we already had music together because for a while, Caleb was coming to my house to record
Oh yeah,
his
he was the
stuff.
only studio. So
That was-
going to his house.
Yeah, so we already had collab plenty of times. We had a lot of bad songs, but we were actually starting to make good
Not the
songs.
good ones now.
Right, the good ones.
At the moment, though, those were smackers.
Go back to the Rebirth.
Yeah, it was definitely a rebirth. I
Right,
can say
definitely
that. It was
rebirth.
a
No,
rebirth.
definitely. Now we can look back and laugh, like
Yeah,
honestly,
that's
because
it.
we were young, you know,
Yeah.
influenced, and we were just speaking about the things we thought we needed to speak on, which is actually I want to give this encouragement, like if there's any young artists like listening or watching that, you know, you don't have to just like copy and paste what the world says to, you know, actually impact people and reach people and for people to like your music. Because that was my mindset. I thought that I needed to speak about ABC because the world speaks about ABC. And the only way my song is going to get played is if I speak about BC.
Yeah.
But I realized, like, now that the way that I reach people and that people love my music is actually by being me, not by being a copy of whoever is out there, you know? So
Yeah.
so that's just encouragement for whoever's like out there listening. But Rebirth wasn't even a question. Kayla was my only friend making Christian music. And then so I was just like going crazy, you know. That Rebirth, Rethink, Rejoice. That is an album that literally tells like a bit of the story of how I literally gave my life to Christ. And so I made that like I gave my life to Christ, and I denied secular opportunities where like some of the biggest names in Puerto Rico like wanted to come fly me down there and work with them. I denied the opportunity, and then I made this album called Rebirth, Rethink, Rejoice. So that was all the first music I made as soon as I gave my life to Christ.
Wow.
So-
So that really is going into your story and like how that all came to be.
Yeah.
Go into that a little bit.
Yeah, that's why it's called Rebirth, Rethink, Rejoice, because
New life.
you're born again.
Yep.
You got to change your mind.
Yeah.
And
Come
then
on,
you
that's so good.
tap into like rejoicing in God. And you asked me about like how I came and everything. I give y'all the short version. It's like a really long, but although I wouldn't say I grew up in church, but I was just part of churches. You know, like
Yeah.
I went to church with my grandma when I was a
CEO,
kid.
Christmas Eve. Christmas and Easter only.
Right, Chris. I
CEO
love it.
Christian.
I love that CEO. I'm gonna start using that. I went to church with my grandma when I was a kid. Loved the music. I was playing the congas. Stopped doing that. I came to Florida from Puerto Rico at 13, and then we started going to church. My parents had a radical change in Christ.
Wow.
Like my dad was like super heavy drinker, all these crazy things, and he just radically changed. He was like, I'm done,
Wow.
because we came to have a better life. So he was like trying to be better, but I was in my rebellious phase. I was like, no, Dad, I'm not getting better.
Like, what do you think I'm gonna do? No.
Right. After all these years, no. So we were going to church, but it was a process for me, you know. So in high school, I kept trying to go through my rebellion. I started rapping in high school. So then that kind of started getting me more pulled into the world. I graduated high school, pulled into the industry. So now it wasn't just SoundCloud rapper. Now it's like we're actually in studios.
And like actually.
Now we're actually making connections. Now we're actually talking about money. People coming up to me, hey man, you gotta sell yourself, man, because you really got a great talent, man. And then like all these other things, and marketers, A&Rs, all that stuff. So for me, it came to a point at 19 years old. It took me 19 years to give my life to Christ because I went through so many doubts, you know, just like, because again, when you have that, what can I call it? I have to call it lukewarm Christianity. When you have that lukewarm Christianity, you can't spark a fire in a kid. So for me, being around lukewarm Christianity, I always just doubted because I was like, man, you're preaching all this and all that, but I can't see it physically in front of me. I can't see the Spirit moving. I can't see us.
It's all just word vomit. Pretty
It's
much.
a word vomit. It's like telling you I love you, but then I go and cheat on you. Like, it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Christianity was for me growing up.
It was a religion, not a relationship.
Religion, not a relationship. So then that comes with how I came to Christ. I didn't come to Christ through a church. I came through Christ in my room. Because I had a crazy experience one day where it's like, you know, I kept going deeper into the industry, but the more I kept making money, going deeper, I was around like models, not like on some sensual stuff, but just being around models. Like, I thought I was dope. Like, oh man, I'm walking around with models, I'm freaking doing this, I'm modeling with them, like I'm so dope. Like, look at me. People will come up to me in college and be like, oh man, I love your pictures, the way you pose, this and that, and just that grandeur. But at 19, I realized that kept getting me more depressed and more into like this question of why am I truly here? Like, is this why I'm alive? Just to do this? Like, just be a face? So it made me question, what is the purpose and value of my life? Wow. And at 19 one day, I heard, I want to say I heard, but I know that was God speaking to me. I don't say that very often, but that was the first time that God spoke to me. And I was on a FaceTime with my girlfriend, and just talking about nonsense. And then she sent me a boomerang, the Instagram boomerang. She sent me one of those, and she said, oh, we look so cute together. And I looked at it, and I remember looking at myself and seeing all the brokenness, all the hurt, all the depression. I didn't see beauty in that moment. I saw like what I was truly going through. Remember, I was actually high because I abused like weed for 2 years straight, where I would smoke from morning to night. And that was like just something, because I was trying to fill that depression void. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that. I remember I was high, broken, depressed. And that's when God's voice was in my heart for the first time in 19 years. And it was with a question: do you want to remain this broken person forever? I'll never forget that question.
I'm getting chills up in here.
I'll never forget that question. And I remember telling my girlfriend, hold on, I have to call you back. I have to pray. Which is random because like 2 months ago, I'm telling her I don't believe in God. Now I'm telling her.
I gotta pray. Give me a second.
So
it just shows how it can change like that.
It could change like that. So
radical change is possible.
A radical change is possible, because when God calls you, He's going to make sure He grabs your soul. So no matter how much you run or how much you try to, like, things started happening so much where people would come up to me, speak about the word of God, preach. I used to work at a call center. People preaching to me on the calls. People out of nowhere, the most random people you wouldn't think are Christian, are telling me about God.
It's like God saying, come on, come home. I'm reeling you back in.
Why? Yeah, He was fishing me. Like,
he's like, come on, son, I got a purpose.
When He calls you, there's nothing going to stand in the way of Him bringing you in. Like, there is nothing that's going, like, I know we talk about it sometimes, and we're just like, He's calling you in tonight. Like, He's calling you in this moment, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, come face to face with the reality that He is calling you, and like, you have that decision to make. Like, are you going to? Are you going to? Because He's calling you individually. Individually.
And it's also like, it goes to a statement that I think one of the pastors at a conference talked about. He said, like, a lot of people think they're unqualified. And it's like, God doesn't call you to be qualified. He qualifies the called.
Come on.
And so it's like, He's gonna make you who He wants you to be, and He's gonna heal that brokenness. Like you were saying, you were looking at a person full of brokenness, and now I sit across from you, you're full of joy, you're full of the fruits of the Spirit. Like, you ain't broken no more. He takes that soul and He heals it. He transforms it, and it's not because of what you did, but because of what He did through you.
Amen. I love that. I love that. That's what it is. Cause I feel like a lot of people feel like they look at Christianity as only church and tasks. So it's like, okay, for me to start going to church, I have to be like sinless, and for me to start going to church means I have to start doing these other tasks. But I say it like this: people think they have to change before they come to God. I say you got to come to God so that you can change.
Exactly.
So that's always what I tell my kids, my youth, anybody that speaks to me. It's like, you first come to God, come as you are, because the Holy Spirit will take care of working in you, working in your mind, coming in your heart. So that's what it was for me, because I'm coming from the secular industry, smoking every day, all this other crazy stuff. Like there was a lot of things that I had to struggle with and let the Holy Spirit deal in me. So it's like, for anybody, it's not like just an overnight, I'm sinless, I'm Jesus. No, it's a process. You got to go through the struggle. You got to let the Holy Spirit work in you. But it's for a good thing because that's how we're able to be the light of the world. So, yeah, for sure. So that's a little bit of,
yeah, for you.
Tell us about your story, Caleb.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I was listening to you.
He's like, wait.
Yeah, for sure.
you
For
look
sure.
crazy.
Oh, and fun fact about this whole process, right before I gave my life to Christ is when me and Caleb had started talking again. So that's our
He
mind.
kind of like reached you in a way.
Yeah, and he reached me in a way.
God sent him in the right time.
Yeah, you know how I told you
Yeah.
people started picking him out with God? I talked to Caleb now. He's like, oh, yeah, I don't make secular music no more, bro. I'm Christian now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that one was like so I had left the studio that I was at. See, look. I was so chill.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
It's like I gotta come up. I came from the studio. I was at. Oh, did you finish the rebirth?
yeah, I think I'm good with that.
Yeah. So I was coming from the studio I was at that I was working with because I was making music all the time. I would post my music under like Lil Uzi's Twitter, and that's how everybody would listen to my music, and it would go crazy like that.
As you should.
Right.
Yeah.
And me and my homie, his name's Dylan. Shout out Dylan. And we used to make music every day. I used to leave school to go to his house to make music.
Yeah.
And I was doing shows, I was doing all that stuff. And just like I came to a point where, like I said, in 2018 is like one of my most depressing years because it's when I shut down and I was like, hey, bro, like life is hitting me. I'm blaming my family for things that happened because now it's all starting to hit me at the same time. I found out when you're 18, you got to pay taxes.
Yeah.
I found out about credit and all this other stuff. Got
It
paid
hits
for
you
school.
hard.
It hit me hard. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. Nobody told me I was dealing with all this. I was blaming my mom, blaming my dad, blaming everybody. And 2018, I came to that point where I was like, you know, I've never tried God before. So let me try God. And I tried him. When I tried God, that's when the music started feeling weird. So I would go over to this dude's house and we would smoke. Like I would smoke every time I go. I used to think smoking would make you a better rapper.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, if
same.
I'm smoking, I'm finna go crazy.
Right.
Which never happened.
That's the lie. That's the lie the enemy wants you to
Every
believe.
song I ever made smoking was trash.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, so that happened, and then I remember I was like, I gotta tell my mom. You know, confession. I was reading that in the Word. So I confessed to my mom that I was smoking weed, and I thought she was gonna kick me out or something like that. And she was just like, what you gonna do about it? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop going over there. And I went over there again. And this was the last time I went over there, and I was about to smoke, and I did it, and then I went into the studio to record. And it's like when I was trying to record, I couldn't say nothing but Jesus, like in the mic. Because like that's how my heart was, you know.
Come on.
Like I was trying to go away from it, but it was like, nah, this is it, you know. Because usually I'll go over there, smoke, and then record a song and leave. But it was just so different because like my heart was calling like to that moment, like, bro, I don't want to do this no more. And then I left the studio. That was the last time I went there. Called up Kenny, and he was into some other stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Some new age.
Right.
Like
I went into the studio, and then I was about to rap on one of his beats, and then I was like, yo, I don't do this no more. And then that's when I was like, okay, let me back away. I was like, I'm gonna text Kenny. I'm gonna tell him, bro, I'm a Christian rapper. And then I didn't even want to tell him that because I was like, it's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I texted him, I was like, bro, I'm a Christian rapper, and I can't. And right when I was about to text him, he was like, yo, bro, like, I'm Christian. Like, I give my life to God. I was like, yo, this is perfect. Bro, this is crazy.
Perfect timing.
Right, it's perfect timing. So it was immediately, and then I called him on the phone, and we got to work.
Yeah.
So it was like, God was like ordaining this whole path. Like at the same time he was changing, at the same time I was changing, and then we met in the
Come
middle.
on.
You know?
it worked out. It was like divine for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Going into that, your new singles,
Okay.
Evidence
Yeah.
and Flow
Yeah.
Getting Better. Let's talk about
Bro,
it.
let's
Let's
talk.
talk
Let's
about
talk
it.
about it.
Thomas Edison.
Come on, Tyler.
Come on.
Let's
I saw
go.
that the NBA player's brother.
Oh, yeah,
I
that
guess
was crazy.
I was like,
That was
I
crazy.
was because he's one of those fans too.
Bro, that
I was
had me
like-
going crazy. I'm
Yeah.
like, why you listening to my song?
He commented,
I was there. Like, bro, why are you
it's
listening
like,
to
I
my
can't
music?
That's
pronounce the last
crazy,
name. It's like Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, that's the cover.
Yeah.
You like my mom. My mom was
Wait,
like,
who is the team?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Bro,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Antetokounmpo, let me not play with
Wait,
your name.
bro, you talking about Milwaukee Bucks final winning,
Yeah, bro.
the best power
They
forward
just
in the
won
league
championship
right now.
Oh, he didn't listen to it.
Oh, okay,
Let me know a disclaimer. It was
Okay.
his brother.
It was his brother.
But he's still finna go to the
But
league.
still-
He's still there. He gonna show it to you. He probably showed it to his brother.
He probably did, bro. There's a potential that the Antetokounmpo brothers.
Bro,
listen to his
Giannis
songs.
is shooting and listening.
Right.
Like this, like,
Right. I love that, bro. Shout
That's
out,
so
shout out
good.
Giannis, bro. He like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, he cool, bro.
Well, let's talk about the inspiration behind both.
Oh,
Like, let's start with Evidence,
Okay.
right? Because that's like the one that's popping off
sure,
right
for
now. And then let's talk about Flow Getting Better because that's
Yeah.
currently one of my,
Okay.
my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bro, you was like, you be in the gym like Flo getting better.
I don't work out, but it's okay.
I'm in the gym for her.
Right. Evidence, man. First of all, I was in this whole space of just like, because I used to drop a song a week for 2 years. And I was in this whole space of trying to figure out what my next strategy is. So 2022, I was supposed to be dropping a song a week. And I sat down with one of my good friends, PB, shout out PB. And he started saying,
Shout
yeah,
out
man. Right. I was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, man. I see what you're doing, but let's like reinvent how you're going to do your music and drop it and things like that. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And I'm stubborn. So I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to hear it. Like, I'm dropping a song a week next year, whether you tell me or not. He broke it down and he gave me the numbers, gave me the analytics and all those things. And he was like, no, you need to do this. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, I'll go back, drop a song a week. January hits. My TikToks are flopping. I get like 100 views, 900 views the most. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I'm about to go back to dropping a song a week. I'm calling them on the phone. Bro, I don't know what to do, bro. I'm about to just drop projects. Like, I really don't know what to do. Because the method was like drop my snippets early. And I would drop my snippets and wait for them to blow up and then drop the music. But that wasn't happening. So I was like, yo, this is not working. I need to drop my songs so I can continue everything. Then it was like a reflection moment. It was like, okay, I want to drop this music and I want to make sure it's at the highest quality. I have to sit back and say, what are the best songs that I have out right now? Which is what a lot of artists don't want to come to grips at. They don't want to say, hey, I got to keep making this sound. But it's like, no. Like, if you think of, what? You think of McDonald's, right? They got a Big Mac, right? You think of Burger King, they got the Whopper. Like, why would they not keep making the Whopper and the Big Mac if that's the top thing
If
that
it's
they're...
selling, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. And breaking that down, that's what caused me to go, okay, what are my top songs?
West Orlando Flow.
West Orlando Flow,
for
the
sure.
Quick, and the Polo G remix, so it's not even a song, and then Beatbox. So I was like, okay, and the Fake Fly song. So I was like, let me make and the song. So I was like, let me make a template and Locomotive. Right. But those songs, and I was like, let me just make those over and over again, and they ended up being different. I used to think they were all gonna be the same. So I came to recording the song, and these are things we talk about all the time on the phone. So when it comes to recording, I literally just spew out what I've already been saying.
Right.
You know, it's like West Orlando Flow. It's like literally what I have conversations with everybody about.
Yeah.
So when it came to Evidence, since the flow was so easy to get onto because I've already made it before, when I started speaking, it was like real stuff, you know? Like, look at my life. When I first started it, trying to take it higher than I ever been. Like, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? So right when I got into it, I was like, yo, this move and this moment right here is going to take this higher than it's ever been. You know what I'm saying? And also in the music, they're like, hey, how you mix the music with the medicine, things like that. Like, I'm talking about, like, yo, it's over where Christian rap is lame. Like, Christian, any music is not lame no more. It's passionate.
I be showing my friends who are like, wait, this is a Christian rapper?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, actually, it's fire.
It's over with, right, bro. It's over. So I'm like, yo, this song is a statement. Like, yo, look at my life and look at what God's about to do. Look at what He already did.
Yeah,
it's about to show you that God is real. It's the evidence that God is real. And I say that because a lot of people, you know, some atheists, they don't want to read the Bible. They don't want to look at the Bible. Even Christians. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to continue to get that. Because remember the religious thing you're talking about. You were like, yo, this Sunday Christian or like the Easter, Christmas, Easter.
CEO.
Those people, they don't want to hear the Bible all the time. But what we can do is ease them into it. And not feel like they're getting the Bible, but they're getting it. So Evidence, I'm giving you principles in the Bible that Jesus taught.
So good.
But you're not knowing it because, you know, you're not reading the Bible.
You're speaking the word without quotation.
Without quoting it. So it's like, and that's what makes people say, yo, this is not a Christian song. Like, he didn't say Jesus like 82 times. Like, this is not a Christian. And it's like, no, what's more important is I want to make sure you get the seed, you know? So that song, Evidence, like I said, it was just trying to show people, like, my life is evident. You're going to read my life before you read the word. So read my life and peep how I apply these principles from God, and maybe that will inspire you to walk with Christ.
That's good. Because even like some of your songs, it talks about like your past. Like I don't remember which song it is, but you're like, I used to get high on this, and now I'm like doing this. And,
Oh, that's
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2019 couldn't even make a beat.
Yeah.
2020,
No,
jumping hits every week.
Yeah.
And it's like the difference is like the life change, and there's a story in your song.
Right.
And I think that was a cool thing with evidence. And then I've been seeing it on TikTok, and people are like, yeah, I mean it's evident, and you can't deny a person changing.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't deny a change of heart, a change of action, a change of
that's
those
it.
things.
That's
And
it.
it's like that's the coolest thing about that song is who you were then, like mad at your family, mad at the situation, the circumstances, getting high, all this stuff, and then who you are now. You can't deny that. Like people can deny God all they want, you know,
That's the
but
point
you can't
right
deny
there.
how I changed.
Right,
And I didn't change myself. God
Come on,
changed
come
me.
on.
Come on.
I know y'all heard that. But that's
Well,
it.
that goes
Put it on a t-shirt.
Right, put that on the tee.
Marketing. That even goes into like your next song, the like flow getting better. It's like you're talking about giving God like your talents, your time, all of that, and like you know like and like you know like falling down, getting back up, like giving God like your treasure and everything, and like God becomes the ultimate treasure in that. Like your gifts and talents become the treasure that God gives you
For
to
sure.
use.
Yeah, because it's like when it's like literally the beginning of the year is like, all right, God, I'm trusting you. That's literally those two songs. God, I trust that God's gonna take this. I'm already here. It's gratitude in the song because I'm saying I used to send SoundCloud links on Snapchat.
Yeah.
It wasn't working.
Well, I mean,
You know
evidence is literally blowing up.
Right.
I saw you post and you're like, we already at 100,000. I was like, dang.
Man.
Okay,
Like,
Caleb.
come on now.
Come on,
It was
God.
crazy.
Come on, God.
And that's what God does, you know.
Yeah.
He shows you that it might not be the way you want, and that's the thing. I didn't know Evidence was gonna go that crazy. It's not the best song I have on my phone. We talk all the time about it. It's like, bro, I just wanted to put it out, you know, and then
That's facts.
you know, the song ended up.
It was
going
supposed to
crazy.
be like a filler song.
It was a filler song. Yeah, it was like a filler. So.
But I would have to say, as the homie who, like, one of the homies that Caleb was sending the song to in the process, like, there was, like, that song was one of the songs that you worked in for, like, I've seen you the longest. Like, Caleb doesn't hold on to songs for that long, but he worked on that song for, like, a good month or two.
Oh, no.
But
That song was made in 10 minutes, and I sat on it.
Yeah.
And I was showing everybody.
Yeah.
But I remember I did the strategy where it was like I can't drop until something blows.
Yeah, oh, so that's what it was.
Yeah,
so I remember he sent that song to me, and we listened to that song like at least 1,000,000 times before he actually dropped it.
Right.
And I remember just like, oh, I can't wait till you drop this song.
Right.
This, and it was some other song.
And it's like the thing you least expect to happen, God makes happen.
God makes it happen.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right,
now.
because it was
so
like I
good.
would promote it and then it dropped. It got like 30K on TikTok.
Yeah.
That wasn't like I was just like, yo, I gotta drop something because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I dropped it, and the next video I dropped got like 300,000. Then the one after that got like 1,000,000. So I was like, yo, this is crazy.
You're like, here we go.
Yeah, and it was just like me getting out of the screen like that. I was like, there's no way. And
Yeah.
that's how you know there's a God because there's no way I could have calculated that.
No.
You know, I was like, let me
No.
just get. My mind was like, I'm just gonna build momentum.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually, maybe in the summer, something will pop off. But God was like, no, this is what I want you to do right now.
Right now, right here.
Trust
That's
him in
amazing.
it. That's so
I love it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and Flow Getting Better sounded super different before what you guys actually heard
it's
there.
definitely
It was
different.
super different.
Really?
Yeah, so shout out to the OG of Flow Getting Better.
And your recent is free.
Yeah,
Free.
Yeah.
free,
Go into
yeah.
that. What's the inspo?
Oh man,
I jammed to it. I can't understand it, but I jammed to it.
But it be hitting.
It hits
I
though.
love it.
We're listening to it. I was like, listen, I don't know what it's saying, but it's Christian.
Right.
And
I
you
love
can
it.
feel it.
Right.
So like, okay, I'm done.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
She's like,
Anytime.
she's not
The
there.
one where we can say.
Right. Oh, this is the free. Yeah, I love it.
Right.
That's what it's funny. I do these things intentional because although I now like am becoming more of a Spanish-based artist, I'm like I still live in Florida at the moment, so I'm like I want to be able to reach like everybody. So I thought of it in like a performing standpoint or whatever standpoint where it's like, even if you don't understand my song, I could walk you through it, and now you know what you're saying, and boom, and I give you a hook, English word or something where you can say with me.
That's
So it's
good.
like whether you speak English, Chinese, or Spanish or whatever, we can all say this thing together and agree on one thing. So that's why
That's amazing.
I love.
Online, you free.
And of course, right, freedom. It's all about freedom, just like, walking from your old life and walking freedom in Christ. It kind of started, like, the song's been getting a lot of controversy in Spanish TikTok because, just because of this sound. Like the Hispanic community is still catching up with the sound. So it's like they're not used to like fresh modern music that sounds like this, and it's kingdom and it's Christian. So a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this sounds like the world. So it's like crazy.
My perspective is like there's no Lecrae in what he's doing.
Yeah.
So there's nobody that showed you how to do it.
Yeah.
You the
Yeah.
just him.
Yeah.
You're pioneering.
Although no, hold on. I don't. No. So
He said no.
man, I gotta establish that there are very solid, awesome Spanish rappers out right now that I actually consume and I love. But the top of the Spanish Christian rap, most of them kind of lean into the CCM area. So it's like instead of remaining in the urban category, they leaned into like making worship music. So that's why when people think Christian rap in the Spanish world, they think like CCM, they think like, you know what I'm saying, a worship song with a rap verse in the middle of it. So they're not as used to, although they'll still make, you know, their trap and their drill and a little bit of reggaeton, like they're not, and their dembo, they'll make it, but like the world doesn't automatically think that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so they'll just think that's CCM. So that's why it's so fresh. And it's mostly the church, because I have atheists on TikTok be like, man, I don't even believe in God, but your music is art, bro, and I'm listening to it.
That's good.
And it's crazy because I'm Jesus all the way. Yeah, he know it. I'm never gonna take Jesus out of my song, but now I got atheists listening to the song, which is like really the goal for me. Like all the, you know, everybody to consume Jesus in that moment. So freedom is all about being free in Christ, being fun, understanding that we don't have to be like so serious all the time. Like we can dance in Christ, we can rejoice. So it's,
We got
it's
lit
free.
at the Eden experience.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Eating experience is amazing, bro.
That's amazing.
We need a part 2, bro. We
We
need a part 2.
for sure.
Oh, show. We trying to get these shows in Florida. So if you're not in Florida, come to Florida. So unless you're from California, stay over there. I'm literally just kidding.
I'm not.
Two more questions for each of y'all. So,
Okay.
first one, how do you think music influences the current generation?
Pop off.
Go crazy.
Unfiltered.
What do you? Well, actually, we should go first.
How does it influence a generation? How do you think music influences a generation?
How do you feel like it's influencing this current generation?
Right.
That's like a simple question because it's just like you see it. Like it's influencing people to kill each other. It's influencing people to do drugs, and that's been way before we even came alive.
Right.
You know, so music is very, you know, the power of the tongues. You know,
Right.
and the enemy sits in the principalities in the air.
Yeah.
So he loves those airways. So he's
Yeah.
always been trying to dominate through those. You know, we say, oh, it's not that serious. It's not gonna make you. You know, it's definitely affecting people's depression, anxiety, doing drugs. I remember Juice WRLD, when he died, there's an article that says he walked up to Future and he was like, "You're the reason why I do drugs."
Wow.
Like he said that, right? And then Future couldn't even stomach that. Like he was like, "This is serious," you know. So imagine what's on his conscience right now that he passed away. You know, so people think that it's a game. It's not a game.
Yeah, it's not. Right? I love that because you could see it in society. It's like, even look at how the way it influenced us. Like we were like, oh no, people tell me all the time, oh, I only listen to the beat, not the lyrics. But it's like you saying that, but yet your life is going deeper and deeper into what. Yeah, it's reflecting. You know, your
Discipline's gonna come out in one way or another.
Right, and I always say that the mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the spirit is life, you know? So when you try to follow God, you need the thoughts of God. That's why God said we got to be renewed in our mind. But that secular worldly music can't offer that, you know? So that's why we have to consume something that will lead us in the thoughts of God. So that's why I believe, and I make a great case for, I believe I make a great case, right? I feel like I make a great case for advocating for Christian rap, because we're consuming rap. We grew up in rap. Rap basically raised us. We was not. I was listening more to rap. What the rap dude was telling me, the rapper, than my dad sometimes. You know, so in certain points in my life. So I was like, so now we're doing that, but with kingdom message in it. So I think that
amazing.
and there's this other psychological aspect of it in which the music you consume is actually filtered while you sleep. So that I tell people, man, you're listening to this depressing music all the time. You're literally even processing it as you sleep. That's why you can't break free from that depression because
That's
your
when your body processes it.
right, your habits are depressing, your music is depressing, your thoughts are depressing. Of course you're gonna be depressed, bro. You need to let God change that whole atmosphere, your habits, your thoughts, your everything, and then that's when you're gonna start seeing progress. That's why when people start working out, just one habit changed their whole life. Now their mental health is better. Now everything's better just because now instead of being in their room all day and sitting down and watching Netflix or scrolling on TikTok, now they're like going outside. They're getting energy out. So and the waves of the air and all that stuff, and music is very spiritual. And I talk a lot, by the way. So y'all got me on this podcast. Y'all messed up.
No,
Look, music is very spiritual. So I don't know if y'all remember the story of David, in which when Saul was king and he had like a tormenting spirit, the only thing that was able to get rid of that tormenting spirit was David's harp. Like, and it was crazy because it's not like he didn't try other music before, but the difference between David's harp and other harps is that the harp of David had the spirit of the Lord behind it, because it said that David had the spirit of God upon him. So David was playing with the spirit of God versus the other people. It was like, what was different? You know, like, okay, we're hearing the same instrument, but David had the spirit of God. So although it was the same spirit, the same instrument, probably the same type of music, realistically speaking, David had the spirit of God. So that's what was able to ease him from the tormenting spirit.
That's amazing. When it goes into like all the different genres, like what's really behind it, like EDM, like transcendental music, all of that, it goes on and it becomes so popular, but you're like, why did it become so popular? Think about it, think behind, like, you know, the engineers, the music engineers behind it, like everything that they're trying to put in the music. I can get on
It's
it.
all manipulation.
It all is.
And there's an intention. Every song has intent. And I use the most radical example all the time. Like, y'all know that I got Murder in My Mind song. Like, you can literally feel the intent. You can hear the intent. And it's like, why would you consume that? Like, I got Murder in My Mind. As soon as you press play, you're literally inviting those thoughts to come to you. So now you weren't thinking about murder. Excuse me. Oh man, I had the allergies for a second. So okay, so starting over. So now, as soon as you press play, you're inviting those thoughts. So you weren't thinking about murder before, but now there's a situation, and now you're like, I want to kill that person. But it's because you invited those thoughts in. You feel me? Because when you press play to a song, you're literally inviting that person's thoughts, intentions, and spirits to come into your thought life. So yeah.
And adding on to that, it's like when you do that, you're not just listening, you're about to sing those lyrics.
Yeah.
So now you're declaring those things over yourself.
Speaking it over.
With the tongue.
Right, with the tongue. And there was two things. One is music is the only thing that has access to you without you saying yes or no. Like, you can be at the store and music will be playing.
That's true.
And
be in the elevator.
Right.
Music is like the only thing that wasn't created on earth. Like, it started in heaven. Like, worship is always been a thing. So it's like, it's not like, oh yeah, we can just do whatever we want with it. That's like, they literally use music to worship. So if music is to worship, what are you worshiping in that song? You know, so it's like, it gets to that point.
I'm about to walk out. No, that's real, bro.